Hello, my name is Carly Stoughton. I am a technical marketing engineer with the NCMA business unit, which is responsible for ACI, Nexus 9K, and the Nexus 3K. And I am here today to give you a brief demo of what ACI GUI looks like. Give you a picture just of kind of how things look, how our policy model looks within the ACI fabric, what the GUI interface looks like so that you can go forward and play. So this is an actual physical fabric that I have set up in my lab in San Jose.
So just while we're getting started on the GUI, for the record, is Cisco prepared to commit to a release date for a Java UI?
You want that?
Oh.
You want that? No. No comment.
Roadmap.
A Java UI.
I'm hoping it can reach parity with ASDM, because that, I think, is the pinnacle of Java UIs.
So,
Yes, please.
first thing to notice here, so this is our system dashboard, and every object, including the system as a whole, has a health score. All right, so I can see, and I've intentionally induced some faults here so that you guys can see some errors.
We would never see those in a production network.
No, never. Never. So that you can see some faults here. So this gives you just a high-level view of the health of the system, health over time, different severity of faults, which probably looks very familiar if you've ever been on UCS Manager. We've had some of the same designers with that. So we can see system-wide faults and where they exist. Tenant Tab. So this is for a CVD that is published and available on the Cisco website that I wrote. So this is an actual tested environment. But here I've set up a sample Sharepoint application. And what I've done here, we can see that I have a collection of EPGs, web, app, and database. I've also added vMotion capability since I'm using VMware. So this is a nice way to look at all the different EPGs. And then down here at the bottom are all of my contracts. So I can actually see the contracts for who's out there, who's allowed to talk to who, and then inside of the contracts, what am I allowed to talk about? And then I have external networks as well. These are external layer 3 networks. So I have these 4 different sites that my users are living at. Within each EPG, I can see, again, health score for every object that we have here to make it easy for troubleshooting. And then I can also see, if I click over here, my actual endpoints. So I see I've got 2 web servers running that have been talking. I can see what server they're living on. And I can see where they're connected in the fabric. Leaf 101, Leaf 102. So it gives me a very easy way to see where my endpoints are. So this is kind of the tenant tab is kind of where we configure the policy and the networking. And the other piece I wanted to show you is the VM integration. So I have vCenter server set up here. And the nice thing is not only am I able to do things like create port groups and have those act as EPGs, but I actually have visibility inside VMware. So these are actual VMware servers. I can see the vNICs, and I can also see the virtual machines that are running on these servers without having to go touch vCenter. Okay, normally that's something I would have to go do, and you may not, your VMware admin may not give you access to vCenter. So this gives us also a nice level of visibility into the VMware environment. And then here we have our port groups that we've created. So these are the EPGs. Again, I can see the virtual machines. I can see which adapters have been connected, IP address of the VM, MAC of the VM. So the VMware integration piece gives us a lot of visibility and a lot of granularity into what's going on.
How do you get the IP address of the VM?
So there's two ways it can be learned. It can be learned through the connection that we have through the APIC and the vCenter API, or through the data plane. When the VM's actually talking, we can track the IP address.
Glean it from the packets.
Yep. And then, of course, there's also layer 4 through 7 services. That's where you would go to add device packages like the Citrix, the F5, ASA. Admin is where we can go and do things like set up backups, imports, exports, AAA, LDAP, right? All of the normal RBAC that we would see on a normal environment. So that's just a quick rundown of the system. Health scores give us a lot of telemetry, and again, we're tracking things at a per application basis. So it makes troubleshooting a lot easier and a lot faster when that finger gets pointed at us saying it's the network. We can troubleshoot it on an application by application basis.